a very early age, cinema was sort of a form of escapism. I was sort of intoxicated by the fact that people would sort of gather in a dark room and share this experience of a story on screen.
Nelson Carvajal, a video essayist and digital filmmaker, has assembled this look at all the Best Picture winners in slightly abbreviated form.
When I had professors like Rhonda Sprague or Bill Deering for video and editing, the immediate access you had to these wonderful people and their years of experience was, I don't know if I would have gotten that had I gone to something like NYU, because at that point you become basically a name on a list, another number. The first things we did before shooting anything ourselves, whether it was in the student television studio, was edit footage that wasn't ours. Like my first foray into Final Cut Pro, legitimately, not just messing around in high school with Adobe and all that, was going to college. And to sit there and go Bill Deering goes, here's a hard drive with footage, and now you need to make sense of this. I realized that trying to go any sort of traditional route, basically only being a production assistant for 10 years, or only doing this, or only interning, I was never going to have any footing, any place of my own. So I basically realized I needed to go out there and shake some bushes. And what that meant was creating my own little things, own little pieces of video art and short films, and putting them into the non-marquee festivals and platforms.
We did a video art show at the beginning of 2012 called Film is Dead. It was a really great thing for us to do, just to have a gallery, a month-long gallery exhibition. And yeah, it was all Nelson's idea. He put it together. I remember he called me up and was like, Amir, I believe if I said a film is dead, I was like, all right, I just went along with it, and we developed the concept more from there. But it was all his idea. He put the whole show together, and I'm glad he asked me to be a part of it.
And it was a big success. Ted Hope, his producer out in New York, he produced The Ice Storm and American Splendor, a lot of good movies, and he was a big supporter of what I was doing. He was tweeting about it, and this is coming from a producer in New York who has no business to do that. He doesn't live in Chicago. To see that, it was in the Chicago Reader, Bad Lit out in California had been writing about it, and so that, I think I was most proud of that, because it basically said all these things that people took for granted online, these YouTube videos that I had where I had 50 views, because nobody wants to watch video art with their free time, let's be honest, unless you have a core audience. They saw it in an exciting way. You walked into this art gallery and you looked around and you saw television monitors stacked on top of milk crates, film strips hanging, posters that were decrepit, a small casket with reels of film in it. Everything about it was saying, this is dead. This is old movies and they're gone. And the new movies are sort of new and they're not fully formed, and we don't really know how to describe them, but they're just as compelling, they're just as powerful as whatever movie won Best Picture last year. And also open up doors for other platforms, like Matt Solar-Seitz, who's the TV editor of New York Magazine, and now he's the editor-in-chief of RogerEbert.com. He runs a video essay website on cinema for IndieWire, and he saw one of the videos about my art show, not videos that was in it, but a video about it, showing the gallery, and he had found me online, contacted me, and said, I like what you're doing, and would you like to make some video essays for IndieWire on cinema, using your style? And I was like, sure. And then I did that for a few months, and a lot of the video essays I made for that got picked up by Slate and other magazines and online websites, and then that eventually, I was approached by the editor of Fandor out in San Francisco, and she was like, Kevin Lee, who was a contributor was a far-flung correspondent from China for Roger Ebert, said, I like your work too, can you make something for us? And now, next thing you know, I'm doing niche video essays for an online, basically version of Netflix for independent films.
I was living out in LA, I was out there for 17 years, and just had moved back to Chicago and brought a film here to Chicago International Film Festival, Made in China. And Nelson was just one of the young, kids out there who were just really out there trying to find stories to write about for Chicago. He just has this relentless, undying hunger for reaching out and getting this message across about sort of this evolution of film that's happening right now. And I think he's just a really sort of forward-thinking, progressive guy who understands where the technology and the media is leading, and sort of trying to come up with sort of progressive ways to get that out.
He's a great creator. He thinks about things, and you know, applies his knowledge to everyday situations, and he's a great guy to know.
What the experience at Stevens Point really taught me was that it's not about, you know, where you go, the sort of name that comes with something, it's about what you do while you're there.